That university story that we were just talking about, Tony says, yes, Brits should be prioritised in placements, but it's all money-based. We have far too many universities offering pointless degrees to anyone with the money to pay for it. Karen says British-born nationals should always take priority over non-nationals, be it education, NHS, social housing. About time we implemented this policy.
Keep those thoughts coming in. We are going through the newspapers this morning in the company of the Olympian Chris Akabusi and the former Conservative advisor Claire Pearsall. Welcome back to both.
And just in case you don't know, he's an Olympian. He's got a blazer to prove it.
and a medal in his pocket.
1984 Los Angeles. And it still fits him.
Exactly.
Still, what's that, 40 years?
Yeah, 40 years, 39 years. Yeah.
You do
1984.
not age, do you?
No.
You justify. You're a medical marvel.
Oh, bless you, bless you.
You want to talk about Stop Oil?
Yes.
To start with. And the Times have got a story front page on this one.
Yeah, so basically, judges are being urged to get tough with Just Stop Oil protesters. You may remember the Dartford oil protesters who climbed up and had gridlock for a couple of days. Well, they were jailed for 3 years and 2 years, respectively, Morgan Trowland and Marcus Deck, anyway. And the effect of that really put the shivers up the protesters, so much so that we've not seen that sort of protests replicated. And so they're saying, well, that worked so well there, why are judges not penalising people with more custodial sentences?
Let me ask you something. The George Osborne wedding on Saturday, right, it turned out that the lady who sprinkled the orange confetti, it turned out to be harmless, but...
Correct.
What if it hadn't have been?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought it was quite frightening how close she got.
Correct. Yeah,
I don't know if he had security around him or not.
Precisely. What you'd have thought somebody of his grade would have security for life, and that was my thought precisely when I saw that. OK, this was harmless. She's only thrown.
But look, someone swoops in from the right. And
but yeah, I mean that could be a knife. That could be that could be anything.
That could have acid on it.
Yeah, there's the security, and she gets sent away.
She looks so happy with herself.
Well, she looks nervous there though. She realised she's a bit conspicuous now. But yeah, but security they were delinquent in their responsibility then. How did she get anywhere near enough to put confetti on his blazer? I mean, it is ridiculous and it is alarming. You know, we've had, I've forgotten the young lady's name, but Joe Cox.
Yeah.
You know, we had Joe Cox and we've had Martin, the South End chap. So we have got presidents in our community.
Sir David Amos.
So we have presidents in our community of the life-threatening...
knife attacks.
Yeah, so this needs to be stopped for sure.
Yeah. OK, so you stop being so nice for these Just Stop Oil protesters. So the 2 or 3 old goats that got on the courts at Wimbledon at the weekend, what would you have done to them? Is there not public sympathy with them because they're old and decrepit?
No, I don't think so. I mean, look, another thing the article says is that if you're not careful, people will stop wanting to hold international events in the United Kingdom if we are not able to police our citizens and allow these events to go on unhindered. So there's a lot at stake here. You know, they are making a protest, and of course we protest. We don't want to stop people making protests, but you've got to be sensible in your protest.
We should point out Just Stop Oil did deny that she was one of theirs.
Yeah, well, yes,
confetti, but obviously you do have your own people.
But they were happy to retweet it, weren't they? Yeah. They were happy to, hey, look, look what we're doing.
Put it on their website and...
Yeah, so they promoted it, they've marketed it, and we are talking about it, so they're getting what they wanted.
Claire, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we need to stop giving them the airtime, if I'm brutally honest. But
the oxygen of publicity.
Yeah, and I think because that's exactly what they want. But I'm seriously impressed as to how they get tickets to all of these big sporting events. Yeah. Now, to get to Wimbledon, they've been to cricket at Lord's, and we all know how difficult these tickets are to come by, and the rugby. So, their methods are...
Unless you're a multi-millionaire and you've got links into all these scenarios, because, you know, their leader...
It was interesting how Silverstone dealt with it yesterday by using facial recognition ID. which
That
is going
created
to set a
uproar.
whole new set of problems because there are people who don't like that kind of surveillance.
Yeah,
but
you see,
it did manage to keep people out of Silverstone.
The thing about Silverstone is nobody really talks about it because nothing happened. But think of the operation that must have been in place
But would
to
facial
make sure nothing
recognition
happened.
have stopped the old lady with the confetti?
Of course
I'm
not.
sure
If she
she's
is
never
not-
committed a crime,
if
she
she's
probably
not on
runs
a
the WI
list.
down in Bruton.
It depends. I mean, this is a very good point because this is the problem that a lot of people have with digital ID and facial recognition and the way the world is going. So it's because, actually, and I'm against this, but if we had a digital ID and you could see her voting patterns, you could see the people she interacts with, yeah, you would be able to identify her. And that is the scary thing about where we are going.
It is, but unfortunately people like this are now pushing the country to take more extreme measures. I don't believe that they should be allowed to disrupt the public walking slowly in a road. The police have to be quicker. They're getting better at dealing with it, but everybody is frightened to move people on because the right to protest, which I fully support, but don't do it when you're stopping people getting to a hospital, to a school, to a loved one, or just to work and earn their living.
Chris was saying, where are we going as a country? Claire, here's a story in the Mirror, page 4 in the Mirror, and there's a poll on Friends. 8%, that's less than 1 in 10 of people in this country say they have no friends whatsoever. So that's sad, isn't it?
It is really sad, which is why I wanted to bring this up, because I find that's an appalling statistic. I think we all realise as we get older, you have a small group of very good friends. I'm very lucky. Can probably count them on one hand, who are very good friends. But to have none, I feel, is just indicative of the life that we now lead. People work from home, people use online as a way to meet friends, so you don't meet them face to face and have those kind of interactions. You don't necessarily go to pubs, restaurants, nightclubs necessarily, where you would meet people. And it just seems that human interaction is falling away and we're all becoming more insular. And I just found that was pretty horrendous. It's those aged 35 to 54 have the fewest pals.
Really? I find that extraordinary.
Well, I
I'd
guess-
have thought this was a symptom of an ageing population and families being scattered. So, somebody loses their partner, they're a long, long way from their family, and these people are incredibly lonely. People in my age bracket, I
guess you
I
define
have enough time to see all...
No, I know.
I'd want to define what do you mean by friends? I mean, I've got thousands of friends and I've got no friends.
Yeah,
Oh, no, don't say that.
No.
I know exactly what you want. You and I would consider you my friend.
Yeah.
But when did I ever see you? I don't see you, but I sort of feel that if I didn't see you for 5 years, I could turn up at your front door and say, "Hiya, Chris, I was just passing."
So I think you're friendly, and I'm friendly, and I enjoy your company. And when we collide, brilliant. And I've got loads of people who I collide with on a daily basis at the golf course, walking in the woods, coming to work. That's great. But the question is, how many people... Now, I've got family who, if I was in dire straits, I'd go, mate, I'm having a wobbler here. And I've got close family. Yeah. My eldest daughter, anytime, Ashanti, the old man's have a wobble. How can I help? So I've got that. I don't know how many friends I'd go...
Do you think that's also a slightly male thing? I don't know, as men get older, maybe it's the women who do a lot of the... If you go out, my mum always says, you go out to wherever for dinner and it's just groups of women everywhere with a bottle of wine out on a girls' night, and perhaps guys aren't as good at socialising.
Well, funny, I was in a restaurant in Belfast recently. It's very strange. And there were 36 people in that restaurant, right? And there was 2 men, me and another guy, and the rest of them were women driven by alcohol. I don't even think they were. I don't think they were eating or anything else. But they sat there, and they all had bottles of wine, and they were all having a great time. Yeah. And you could well be right that women might make friends easier.
Just have lots of people they can find. Let us know. Are you one of those? What was the statistic?
8%.
8%.
8% of people who say they have no friends, and if so, get in touch. Let us know. That's really sad.
Good.
Look you up.
But you're right, you categorise people. You may have family, you have friends, you have acquaintances. Yes. And I would say, in tribute to you, Chris, your personality is such, you would be like a magnet to people.
100%.
So if you hadn't got much of a personality, then you would draw less people to you. So in a way, you're a bit unbalanced from the point of view that you're attracting more people.
Well, no, yeah, I'll go from here, I'll go and play golf. I've got loads of
I
things
know
to
you
do.
have,
Yeah, in the golf course, I'm chatting and I'm talking. I can breezily be quiet, we're trying to have a conversation. I've got friends all over the place. But, so if you mean that...
But in a crisis, who you call...
Yeah, exactly.
boils down
I
to-
would have think long
You
and
can
hard.
call me
That was my
anytime.
Bless you, bless you, bless you, Eamonn.
God bless. OK.
Right, Claire, we'll have more from you and from Chris in the next round. Thanks very much.